different cats and dogs that I've had in my past. So I thought in today's video it would be fun to share some of the other types of animals that I've had as pets, show you how to draw them, and talk a little bit about their unique personalities. Now this list does not go in order of which ones came first, but I'm going to start off with the one that I had for the shortest amount of time, which was my pet mouse. As with anything, I'm looking for my base shapes to begin adding in here. I place these base shapes very lightly so I can go back and erase the lines that I don't need. The only problem with that is sometimes it's a little challenging to see it on the video. Specifically with this mouse, after I got done recording it, I went, I need to push a little bit darker with my pencil. So the other two animals are a little bit easier to see. So if you can't clearly see what I'm drawing, let me describe for you what I'm doing here. So I use a large circle shape for the head of the mouse, and then another circle just about the same size over to the side just a little bit to represent kind of the rest of the body of the mouse. Being that it's at this angle, both these shapes are going to be relatively the same size. If the mouse was profile, the body shape would obviously be a little bit more elongated out. But because I'm having this mouse at a 3/4 direction looking at me, both circle shapes pretty much the same size. A couple of tips for drawing mice is when adding the ears, don't think that you have to get a really smooth ear shape. Some mice have really kind of ruffly ears, I guess, so you can have fun with that shape. The feature that I think sticks out the most for me when drawing a mouse is its really big eyes. Not only are they circular shape, but they're sphere shape. That means they're not just flat on the face. You will see they bulge out. So really don't be afraid to round those eyes out. Now let me tell you a little bit about my pet mouse. And was thinking about getting a pet. I don't know why I chose to get a mouse, and was looking at some of the furry creatures when I found the cage with all the little feeder mice. And at first I was like, oh, they're kind of cute. And then I realized that indeed they are feeder mice, which means they are being sold to feed much larger animals. It's the circle of life, it happens, but compassion overwhelmed me and I bought the smallest mouse that I could find. It was a little white mouse, took it home. I had an old aquarium that I cleaned out and made its home. Yeah, I was determined to give this mouse a happy ever after. So what did I name my mouse? I named my mouse Mouse because I'm just that original. My cousin had a pet rat named Miss Pockets, and she would love to ride in said pockets. Was very cuddly and snuggly, very affectionate to people, and I couldn't wait to have this bond with my own mouse. Now, I don't know if it was because of my lack of creativity when naming it, or it was just scarred as a young mouseling, knowing that it was going to be a feeder mouse. But we never really bonded. Mouse had two objectives in the world. One was to create the greatest kingdom ever known out of paper towel rolls and toilet paper rolls. And the other one was to poop on me anytime I came near it. So yeah, Mouse and I did not have that strong bond. But I feel kind of good that I saved this little creature from being part of the great circle of life. The next pet I'm going to talk about is my betta fish. I've actually had several fish, but I chose to draw my betta. So to create a betta shape, we're going to draw this very weird, long almond shape. So take a circle, squish it down really flat, and then pinch the corners up a little bit at one side for his mouth. That's the best way I can describe the shape of a betta fish. Because the betta's mouth is relatively on the top of the head, so that when it comes to the surface of the water, it can easily eat any kind of bugs, or in his case, fish food, their head shape's a little bit interesting. When drawing the gills, you want to bring those up from the bottom side of the head. Some people just put like the little C shape behind the eye, but actually the gills kind of come down and underneath the head a little bit there. And then for drawing the fins. Now, depending on what type of betta fish you're drawing or wanting to create, there are a ton of different fin options out there. So highly recommend looking at some different reference photos. But for my betta fish, he had really long, beautiful, fanned out fins. So to create these, I'm just going to draw lots of little wavy lines, but I'm not going to really worry about connecting them. I'll do that in the coloring process. As for color, again, betas come in a wide variety of colors and vibrancies. So again, check back to those reference photos. Now, my beta that I had was named Blue Thunder of Hurricane High. But I can tell you that most of my betas have had the same attitude. I feel they believe they're miniature sharks, and that if you were to put your finger in their bowl, they will rip it off. Not really, but they think they will. Blue Thunder of Hurricane High's favorite pastime was swimming around and trying to find the ladies to impress, which sadly we had no female betas, so yeah, unrequited love. He did have one arch nemesis. Every once in a while his bowl would get a reflection on it, and he would see this handsome, blue, strong beta fish swimming towards him, flaring his fins at him, which of course he was flaring his fins at the other beta. Yes, the beta in the mirror was a fierce foe. Undoubtedly, some of you who are watching this are going to be beta experts, and I hope so, because I have a question to ask you. All of my betas have enjoyed building little bubble fortresses at the top of their bowl. I always thought this was a good thing, that they were making a nest for the ladies, you know, getting everything ready. And then someone told me that no, that's a sign that they're upset and distressed. Which, if that's the case, I'm really sad, because then that means a lot of my betas were upset and distressed. So, clarify in the comments, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Let me know. And finally, last but definitely not least, in my mini pets that I've owned, I'm going to be drawing my parakeet, Bluebird. So for Bluebird, I'm going to start off with a circle shape for his head, then bring down both sides. The belly side is going to be a little bit more round, where the back side is going to be a little bit straighter. Not ruler straight, but just a little bit straighter. The belly side definitely will curve in towards the tail, where the back side will just continue on its merry little straight way. The belly cuts in at the tail and then makes this definite V shape down. And again, depending on how your bird is sitting or position, things are going to change up a little bit. But for the wing, I wrapped a kind of elongated C shape out, starting from the center of the bird and then moving around. For his beak, I used a really fun rounded triangle shape. And again, reference photos are really going to help you out here. Then comes the super fun part, designing the color scheme of your bird. Like with many of my animals I've drawn today, they come in a wide variety of colors. But as you probably can guess, Bluebird was in fact a blue bird. So let me tell you the tale of my Bluebird. The tale begins actually with my sister April and her saving up her money to buy her very own parakeet. She bought a gentle, warm, kind, snuggly, kind of yellowish green parakeet, which she named Captain. Captain must have had a really great young parakeet life, because he really loved humans. Like, from the moment she got him, he was not afraid of her. He would come up and let her touch him. She was really excited. So our next door neighbors found out that my sister had gotten a parakeet and went, "Hey, we have a parakeet that we don't ever do anything with. Why don't you have him so that Valerie can have a parakeet?" So they took this poor bluish bird and put him in the cage with Captain. Bluebird did not have the same gentle, nurturing upbringing that Captain had had, and quickly, I guess, shared his experiences with Captain, because, like, overnight, Captain became terrified of my sister. I was not put off by this very terrified bird, and so took the bird into the bathroom where I knew it couldn't fly and get lost, and sat in there for hours with this bird and just petting it and letting it sit and it'd fly up and land on the shower curtain, and I would go and gently get it and bring it back down. I pet it and give it bird seed, and I just spent so much time with it that after a while he was like, "It's useless to try to be afraid of this human because she's never going to let me go." I kind of think I was maybe like Darla from Finding Nemo. I had the best intentions, but I probably scared the birdseed out of him. But it all turned out good because Captain became very tame and he would actually come to me when I called, so maybe I wasn't Darla. His favorite thing to do was to sit on my pencil while I was sketching. Unfortunately, he would also poop while he was sitting on my pencil, which did not work with sketching. And he loved to rock out to the Little Mermaids under the sea. In the comment section of this video, let me know, do you have any funny pet stories? Have you had a pet that has a really unusual or interesting personality? Or maybe you've had a really unusual pet. Let's talk about that in the comment section. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more of my videos, I have 2 right here that I highly recommend. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me, and until next time, God bless you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!